the end of time. What, 7 years from there? And have we looked back yet? We're too busy being distracted. Yeah, slavery. Yeah, crazy cops. Yeah, my wife. Yeah, the earth is going to blow up. What the fuck do you give a shit? You do. Why? Because you created children. And these children used you as vessels to come back. They came back! Why? Because they saw they have a way back through. Now, this is why the kids are harder to deal with today. Because you ain't gave them shit to work with. These are the ones coming back because they the ones started the madness. The child is the father to the man. A baby don't need to be taught how to be a baby. But the baby teaches you to be a parent. That's right. So, what are you doing with your children? Are you taking time to teach them the higher ways of knowledge? Are you there teaching them who they are at the essential level? Are you teaching them how to build a gun? Are you teaching them how to eat grass to survive? Because these children today are rebelling. They are creating their own order because we have given them none to deal with. There's nothing here for them to look at, to see at, except what it is that we are going through. They're inheriting our madness. Now, do we take them outside of this circle of potential that we've left? Because this is where we are right now. What's beyond? Unless we show them what this was about so that they can make their own reference to develop their own pipe point and then take us out of this madness once and for all, we're back here for another. I'll be probably coming through somebody, maybe your great-great-grandchildren. I'll be here with the same shit. I don't want to hear this again. I am not coming back. I don't want to be here no more. I've done this. I've done it. So, and then simultaneously, with the balance of both, with both feet in both parts, both your angles together, then you are now in an equilibrium that nurtured both your spirit and your body, and that was called Vishnu. Thus, it is that we journey to the center of the self only after we can envision a place devoid of constructive, destructive thinking. Okay, so now we are caught up in the karmic cycle of constructive and destructive thinking. Okay, constructive thinking, destructive thinking. When these constructive and destructive, when constructive and destructive thinking takes place, we get caught up in the cycles that make us have to think that everything that we destroy in our thinking process, we have to rebuild in that same way. So, oh man, I lost my job. I gotta find another one, right? See, I use that as an example because there are certain survival imperatives already etched into you because you've been living on the lower ego level. Living on the lower ego level, you can't think or feel that, hey, even if the birds can get some food, right? I can find some, steal anything, grow it. But you have not seen yourself do anything in an alternative way than the structures given to you to think it. So, the cycle of constructive, destructive thinking, which is terminal thinking. Let me hear you say it again. Terminal thinking. That's what we got to get out of. The terminality of thought. Terminal thinking. And ponder upon, listen carefully, ponder upon a space within where thought does not exist. Oh, shit. What am I going to do without my thoughts? My head will explode. No, it'll implode. Can you ponder a space where your thoughts, the present structures, the present laws that you've created, the present geometrics of your thinking pattern, can you ponder a place where you shut that construction site down? Now, can you now ponder a place where observation exists? Ooh.
So, beloved brothers and sisters, I have asked that we all come together once again, because as a people, as a species, as a humanity on this planet, we are currently on a path that has led us all to the threshold of extremely perilous times. Astronomical, astrological, and astrosophic events occurring over the past few weeks, what we metaphysicians refer to as planetary predictors, indicate that we are about to experience nature-based catastrophes that will dwarf what took place in Indonesia. Catastrophes that are due to hit the Middle East, China, Japan, Canada, Spain, Italy, Germany, Finland, the Balkans, California, Mexico, Midwest USA, Antarctica, Australia, and the southern and western coasts of Africa, Boston, and New York. We will do a more in-depth overview of what took place in Indonesia and what the surface features of the world may look like in the second half of our presentation. That said, I would like to turn your attention, if I may, to a present and most immediate danger to us all, particularly to the young and the innocent, our children, and the effects that will be felt by our children's children 7 generations removed. What this government has in store for the black and brown peoples living in urban environments over the next 10 to 25 years. Brothers and sisters, there are a mere 7 years left between us and the end of cosmic time. Our ancestors set the alarm in their codified pictographs. They told us that the alarm goes off December 21st, 2012. In reality, beloved brothers and sisters, it won't be as bad as we think it is for those who maintain the energy and the attention on the frequency. And I probably will come out again for the brothers and do a whole thing as we approach 2012. I'm going to do a thing on that, on the Hopi prophecies. But these next 7 years constitutes a most trying and wickedly laborious time for us as a species of evolutionary consciousness. It is the time when the parasite will have to reveal himself, his true nature, his true motives, what he has in store for us, those he refers to as the useless eaters. He will reveal himself fully in the aftermath of a colossal, chaotic, nuclear biological event that will take place on or near the continental United States of America. But that too is another presentation. Today's program will focus on the newest, most sophisticated system of state-sanctioned bondage, slavery, and feudal servitude ever planned for us, and is presently being implemented by most of the governments of our planet under the watchful eye and direction of the notorious Black Pope, Count Hans Peter von Kolpenbach. Brothers and sisters, 5 years ago, circa 2000 in Atlanta, at the rebirth of the Gathering of the Masters, I gave a presentation called Nanogenetic Mind Control and the Future Map of the World After the Shift. In the nanogenetic portion of my presentation, I spoke on how the ruling powers were set to debilitate, depress, or destroy the development and expression of higher consciousness by manipulating the genetics of Earth's food supply, and as a result, eventually crippling the average human's intellectual capacity to recognize, define, and solve their own problems. These merchants of ignorance, who uses their disciplines of science to manipulate the basic elementals of the fire, the air, the water, and the earth as weapons targeting consciousness at the genetic, molecular, atomic levels of human activity. I said that this attack would be so subtle, so insidious, that the general population would not notice that it was being dumbed down, being psychologically sedated, and intellectually and psychologically incapacitated. I said that only awakened few, functioning on higher frequencies of awareness, would notice the sudden but subtle quantum drop in the collective IQ of the population. That they would notice the hair-trigger agitation of our children, these perversely mutated sexual behaviors that you will be seeing. The almost blank, oblivious, vacant, happy faces with almost no memory or care for the history of our people, recent or extended. The general apathy of children tied to video monitors, the insane actions of almost gleeful participation in oblivious stupidity. That the levels of our music expression and sophistication would decline into obscurity as hip-hop became colonized by the superficial. That black music, as the global icon of creative 360-degree expression, would drop to nothing more than 6 degrees of pathological separation. 6 to the master, 6 to the slave, 6 to our culture down a North American grave. On that day in Atlanta, I also made a predictive reference to the Indonesian tsunami. I called it a Sunni, during my report on the earth change.